Two NFL games tonight. Let's talk about them. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Craig Bennett, aka Cash Cake, back with another NFL PrizePicks video. If you don't have that PrizePicks account, use that promo code CashCake and get 100% instant deposit match up to $100. Link is in the description below. Yesterday's video, man, it was one of those where Puka, man, I tell you, it's like is Cooper Kupp. You see everybody talking about it, how Stafford basically made him Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's catching everything. Easy clear on that one. Musgrave, man, 2 balls early, 25 yards, first quarter, and then just absolutely disappeared. I actually love that play. Just didn't pan out for us. And especially, I thought going down in that last drive, we had a chance, but didn't get there. And then Ridley was probably just a bad read by me. I figured they would be down against KC with losing that first game, but I should have took more into account that they probably try to slow him down after that first week, and Kirk should have been the guy. I always preach this too. If a guy comes off a big week, generally they don't have a big week the second time. I mentioned it yesterday in the Sunday Night Football game with Tyreek Hill. Everybody's talking about him, even at the discount. I was like, no, Waddle's the guy that you're going to want here because they're going to try to shut them down, especially Belichick. So, yeah, 1 and 2 on that. Again, we were 3-0 on Thursday's video. So we got 3 more plays we'll talk about here. Why don't we just dive into them and talk about them? All right, we got the PrizePicks desktop up here. Again, you can have a mobile app as well and download. We're going to go through some plays, and I got a couple plays on a few of these guys that I like. So we'll kind of just talk through them a little bit and just discuss what I see, and maybe it's something you like. One thing we've been doing in our Discord, though, for our elite members, and I'll kind of throw a couple up here. I gave 2 of them yesterday, the second half plays here. So gave this one in the early games with Bijan Robinson over rush yards just because of how he was running. And then Nico Collins against Indy here being down in this game, having to throw. Easy cash on that one. And then we hit this one as well with, again, Puka just absolutely killing it. And it was only a 5, which is way too low. Just got Zach Ertz. And then Daniel Jones, they were down early, and I figured he'd have to throw a ton. He threw 233 yards, easily cleared this. So something part of the elite membership I'm starting to dig into more. As I'm watching the games live, you can kind of get a read on them and figure out what they're going to end up doing. And some of those lines just, they open up really soft, and we can take advantage of them. So something. And then, hey, if you don't have Pickett and you want to see what you're doing, here's kind of what I've had for this month for myself. You know, again, we're going to have good days. We're going to have bad days. Overall, this weekend was a really good weekend. College football has just been absolutely dynamite. But again, something that's really nice to be able to pull up. You can sync your PrizePicks or Underdog, your sportsbooks. It's totally free, but just kind of keeps you accountable where you're at and how you're doing. So, yeah, I really highly recommend getting that. And there's a link in my description below if you want to get access to that. Very simple, but highly recommend it. So, again, you keep yourself accountable of what you're doing. And, again, never chase. Had a couple guys talk about it. Never chase. If you have a bad day, there's always tomorrow, man. All right, 3 plays we're going to talk about here. First play we're going to talk about, I'll probably play both of these, but we're going to go to Hayden Hurst here with Carolina. I think they're going to be playing down in this position, going up against the Saints here. Now, the Saints are 3-point favorites. I think they should be more than that. I think they're going to continue to struggle here with Young as their quarterback, rookie quarterback, just too small in my opinion. But what a lot of rookie quarterbacks do is they like to, you know, it's like a safety blanket for them. And this receiving core is not fantastic by any stretch of the imagination. You know, we got Thielen. He was absolute dust. Only had 2 targets last week. We got Terrence Marshall, which is more of the downfield threat. He got 6 targets, caught 2 balls for 23, which I think he's going to struggle with because, again, it's going to take some time to get that chemistry up. And then Jonathan Mingo, which they use some draft capital to get, and I think they'll use him quite a bit, but 5 targets, 2 receptions. But Hayden Hurst had 7 targets, caught 5 balls for 41 yards, ran 27 routes. So I like the receptions, and I like the reception targets, and I don't even mind the yards here. I think they're going to be playing from behind. So in the game script that I'm kind of putting together here, this is what I'm kind of looking at. So like I said, he had 7 targets. I'm perfectly fine if you want to take 4.5. I think he's going to see anywhere from 5 to 7 again this game, if this game plays out the way I expect it to. With 3 receptions. Again, no problem taking that as well. Either one of these, I'll probably take one of these and mix and match some of these entries that we're going to put in. And then 28.5 yards. Again, I have no problem with this either, but I probably prefer the targets and receptions if we're going to take one of those guys. That's where I feel there. And then let's do a little correlation with them, right? Let's go over to Bryce Young. And again, I think he's going to struggle massively this entire week. And last week going up against Atlanta, he was 20 for 38 and 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So I'm perfectly fine if you want to take an interception here. I think he's going to throw a bunch of them. So these are a lot of variants. I tend to like to play these on sports books more than sites like Prizepicks, but no problem if you want to take that. But I think where I'm going to be for correlation wise is pass attempts at this 28.5 number. He threw 38, like I said, 38 times. I think we're going to see something similar here where they're going to get down and he's going to force him to throw the ball. And 28.5 is just too low here. The only concern with pass attempts here is if he has a lot of stalled drives. But if he's passing to Hurst a lot, then, it should move the drive along. Helps him with his targets, receptions, and I think it correlates pretty well. So 28.5 just feels too low for me here. It's something that I think we got to get on top of. And I do like this play for Bryce Young. Like I said, my second favorite for him would probably be that INT if you wanted to look at taking that. That's where I would kind of be looking for him at right there. And then the other one we're going to talk about here, we're going to go over to Kenny Pickens. Now, there's an injury in this game for the Steelers that makes me want to kind of look at him a little bit here. There's no Deontay Johnson. So Deontay Johnson is out in this game. And so we're going to, and he had 6 targets, caught 3 balls for 48 yards and Deontay Johnson. And so now they got Kenny Pickens, right? And if we kind of look up that lineup, we have Newsome on one side, Ward on the other on the cornerbacks. Pickens is an absolute stud, right? Absolute stud. It's just get him the ball somewhere close and he's going to catch that thing. But Pickens should be on the outside with Austin on the other side, Robinson in the slot. And I wish we had targets because that's where I really want to be at. But yards and receptions, I don't mind these either. Even last week with Deontay Johnson getting 6 targets, George Pickens still had 5 receptions on 7 balls. So Kenny Pickett just got to get him the ball. Man, I keep screwing these guys up. George Pickens and Kenny Pickett. But 5 for 7, 36 yards. So, yeah, when you catch 5 balls for 36 yards, they got to push the ball down deep. I think, again, they're going to be playing from behind here a little bit, and it's going to be in favor of George Pickens here. I'm leaning more of the receptions because I think he's going to try to get him the ball. I think he's good the alpha on this roster by far on the receiving core. So 3.5 just feels a little bit too low to me. I think that's where I'm going to end up being for George Pickens here. So we'll put all these up. Bryce Young, we talked about going over more pass attempts. And then, like I said, I'm torn on Hayden, what I want to be with receptions or targets. I think what I'll do is I'll just make multiple slips here and decide what I want to be at with him. So I don't mind here. We'll put receptions here, but I'm perfectly fine with either or. And I would kind of rank these. I'd probably rank these, Bryce Young is number 1, and then I'd put Hurst number 2, and then Pickens number 3. But that's kind of what we're looking at here. Again, if you want access to more of the picks starting to drop for this Monday Night Football game, by all means, come on in. Hopefully we can find some advantage at halftime and jump on some plays and kind of continue to dive into those second half plays, which did really well with us yesterday, and hopefully we can continue the trend here. So with that, again, appreciate you guys. Enjoy your Monday. 2 football games. Gotta love it. See you guys on the flip side. Deuces.